Hey guys, it's Cora Ross and welcome to 6 News. So we're taking a deep dive in depth into a little movie that Rainbow Six Siege developers have given us as a gift, and it's incredible and it's full of information. So we're going to go through every little bit that we can kind of find. I will probably miss tons, but hopefully we'll pick up on most of it, and you guys of course can fill me in with anything else in the comments below. I'm also going to have a link in the description which will go to the full version of this along with the live stream panel that they actually had where they went over everything about it, and they talked a lot, but I don't actually know what their plans are. It's cool, the cinematic's awesome, but I've got no idea if it's going to lead to story content or something else, or what it's going to lead to. And maybe we'll find out more tomorrow with a roadmap, but at the moment I'm not sure where it's going, but there's a lot in here to go over bit by bit. So let's get started. So first up, we get to see Hereford Base. Now, of course, this is our reworked version that we now have in the game. And we're, of course, looking into the garage. We can see the staircase there. We can also, which is really cool, see a drone hole to the left-hand side on the ground. I think that's an awesome little detail. But you guys let me know if I'm wrong about that. But yeah, I love looking in the windows here and just seeing our map. Of course, this is still computer generated, but a much higher level than what we actually see in game. So it's kind of cool to see it on this more realistic level. It's definitely different. Very, very cool. And of course, we get to see Thatcher entering and in his unusual outfit. We get to see a lot of little details that, of course, represents what we've actually got in the map. It's really cool. And in comes Dockerby behind them. Now, what we learn from this is they are doing a training mission right now. So it's basically what we do when we play the game and we're, attackers v defenders. This is exactly what's playing out here, is the attackers are going in and attacking an objective. And it's playing out in that kind of way and in training. And that's what we do when we play. We're basically role playing as the operators doing training. That's kind of what we're doing, and this kind of solidifies that, and we get more of this as it goes on to solidify that kind of backstory that what we do every day when we play Rainbow Six Siege. Now this is kind of the first freeze frame we'll have a good look at. I don't think there's anything specifically Easter eggy in here, but of course all this stuff is in the game. Those shells with like the cardboard boxes, they're in different maps. We've got the head of the wolf on the wall there, and that's all in a lot of maps as well. Like, there's such a lot of things that you can look at and you go, yeah, I've seen that in maps. So it's really nice to see those little details. Of course, nothing hugely Easter eggy, but then we get to see Dockerby using her tablet. She's obviously about to hack into the cameras, which will apparently give her eyes into the room, but Thatcher is impatient, drops an EMP grenade and immediately rushes in, and apparently they fail, at least it seems like that. And now we get to see them after the training, where they are kind of going into where everything's locked in. So all the weapons are locked in these cages. There's an explosive indicator on the left-hand cage, so I'm guessing that's where they keep their frag grenades, maybe even their explosive gadgets. However, sitting outside the explosive cage appears to be a longbow with arrows. Now, I don't know if this is a tease of a future operator who's going to have a longbow, but it could be something that an operator does in their spare time. We do see some fishing rods later, and I don't expect there'll be a fishing rod operator in the game. There is one major thing, and that's at the back. There's a Danish flag, or at least it looks like it. So that could be a year 4 country, and actually just saying could be, I would think it has to be. If you're going to have a flag up on there, I think it has to be. The great thing as well is you can also see the attacker symbol is hanging, which means this is specific area for the attackers, which again goes back to the idea that what we do in Rainbow every day is training, and the attackers are always working together and the defenders are always working together, and it's split into 2 different groups. And my idea would be that the attackers are all about like freeing hostages or defusing bombs and things like that, whereas the defenders might be like protecting high-level targets and maybe protecting radioactive materials or stuff like that. So they're split into distinct groups who would specialize in certain things. So if we play Rainbow Six Siege and there's a hostage to go rescue, on the defender side, what they're doing is actually protecting a VIP, And on our side as the attackers, we're going to try and save a hostage who's being held by terrorists. So it's this nice big lore about the attackers and defenders actually being separate teams, specializing in different things, which I do think is really cool, and I like that, and they're building on that, so loving it. Now, of course, we've already seen that they're based at Hereford, and this is where they are at the moment, and I think they're in a hangar, considering we can see so much outside, and there's also a Spitfire sitting in this hangar as well, which I'm guessing Jaeger probably has fixed up, just like he did in the Hereford base ones as well. And I've got to say, Thatcher has really been bulking out. I'm pretty sure his shoulders aren't that wide in the game. And also, why the hell does he look so young? Like, this guy, isn't he supposed to be way into his 60s or something? He looks way too young in this. But, you know, he does look incredible, so I'll let that pass. And I love the personality of the Dokkaebi as well. I think that's great. Interesting to obviously have those two be chosen as this as the kind of main aspects of this trailer, but brilliant. Then we get this nice shot of Thatcher just sitting here, and the standout things for me are the fishing rods. There seems to be 3 of them. They could all be Thatcher's. We do see from later on that he does seem to like fishing, but I expect there's a group of them that go out fishing regularly. And overall, there's just a bunch of weapons everywhere. There's Frost shotgun on the wall behind them. There's a selection of different things, backpacks. There's a lot on the left-hand side that could be teasers for anything, but I'm not entirely sure. As far as I can tell, I don't see anything, but again, you guys let me know if I miss anything. And yeah, freaking awesome. Then we rejoin Dokkaebi, and she seems to be reading something about hacking, as far as I can tell. I probably would not understand it. Then on this shelf here, we seem to have an array of different things. So the Splinter Skeletor hat, which is one of the cosmetics for Dokkaebi. We have a toolkit, which I think could be Mira's, but could be someone else's as well. We've got a selection of other stuff just laying there that could come from other people or other things. It's absolutely packed with different stuff. So there's like so many things. Now, when we get this view, I thought, oh, what's that down there on the bottom left as it kind of boots up? But it looks to be probably Dokkaebi's laptop with maybe the screensaver, or she might have just hacked into it, I don't know. But it's certainly just sitting there. Of course, we've got her BOSG shotgun on the back there. And then we move scene. So this is Dokkaebi talking to Harry. And Harry is the new 6. So replacing our previous leader of Rainbow Six, who's apparently being promoted. And at first, when I first seen this, I thought he was the psychologist or something, or the therapist or something like that. But no, he's the leader. But he does seem to be doing some therapy-based stuff. So he's recording Dokkaebi's kind of session here, and we can see that he's already been talking to Cav and Castle. So I wonder what he has been going over with them. We get our first look as well at a British Airways ticket, but all the details are blurred out for the moment. And we get to see Harry, who's the brand new 6, and the brand new leader of Rainbow Six. And that's what they call the leader, they call him 6. And we see Thatcher's knife, very cool. I don't know the entire... Like, does Thatcher just have a freaking pile of these and he like gives them out? You know? There's a new member of the team always join, and he's like, oh, I hate your technology. Here's a knife. Is he just giving these out? Because it looks like a really nice knife. And, of course, with the SES badge in it as well. So, yeah. So passes that over to Harry. Of course, Harry's scared his wife's going to get pissed off. Then we get to see some photos in the background, which I think is probably to do with Harry's kind of background. But we'll just see as time goes on, probably, because I think we'll see Harry more and more. Of course, we've got a big-ass map in the background there, which we'll get to soon when we get a better shot. Now we get a better look at that British Airways ticket, and it's not quite so blurred out, and it looks like it's Athens that he's going to. Now, the idea of this guy is he's a leader of Rainbow Six, he's called 6, and he is the one who goes around recruiting people. So, we could have some Greek operators coming into the game. But that, of course, is the second clue. We've had Denmark so far, and now we're looking at Greece here too. But we're going to continue. We're going to get a lot more potential countries as well. In the background, we get to see some more details too. So we got some like helmets there. This could be in relation to kind of For Honor, maybe. But again, it could also be kind of links to his background. He's got a really nice house. Like how much money he's getting paid to do this job. Because damn, he's got a nice place. So then we skip over to Thatcher's thing, which says 1 month ago. He looks like he's a freaking decade younger, though, than we've seen him recently. Yeah, bit weird, I think. And the way this is shot as well is it looks like they're out on the open water, doing something. And then the next shot we actually get and we see that it's totally not going anywhere. It's a complete wreck. I'm not even sure it could float. And it's called Iron Maggie. So I'm guessing this is basically where Thatcher goes to get away from everything. Kind of, comes here, messes around with his boat. And wow, it's in a state. There's a freaking trolley from a supermarket sitting out front. There's also what appears to be explosive barrels. So, if someone comes along, they can blow it up, no problem. And yeah, it's interesting. This does link into the game. The most recent thing for the Six Invitationals was the paid packs, and one of the charms is a charm for Thatcher that does have that does have an anchor on it, so it definitely kind of links up to this whole kind of ship-based background for him. Now we're in a British pub, and we have 3 beers here. I'm not sure what the first one says, but the second one seems to be craft beer, and then the other one's Purest Joy. Good names. I don't know how much Easter eggs are in this scene. There's probably an absolute butt ton, but I'm just not able to entirely tell. There's a bunch of photos as well, which could be off the operators, but also just could be dev photos as well, but not sure. However, let's get on to the juicy stuff. So when we return to 6 in Dockerby, we get to see this board, and this of course has lots of pins in them corresponding to different countries. So of course a lot of them are in the countries we already have operators from. However, we appear to have a pin in Mexico. We appear to have another pin in South America. Now I'm not entirely sure where it is, but I'm thinking it's either Peru, Bolivia, or Chile. Now, it is possible it could be Bolivia, and it could be a link to Ghost Recon, but to me it looks much more like it's in Peru. That's my kind of good guess on that one, or best guess. There's also an extra one in Africa. Of course, we have the Moroccan season, which came from Africa, and I think this pin looks like it's in Kenya, but I'm not entirely sure. There is some other countries close by that it could be over the border in, but we'll have to see. There's another one also in India. Now, interestingly, there's no pin in Russia, even though we have quite a few up from Russia, so that's a bit interesting. The other ones are mostly present as far as I can tell. Of course, we're getting Australian seasons, so there's already a pin in Australia there, and everything else seems to match up with countries we already have. And there's also the possibility that one of the pins is going into Denmark, but I'm not entirely sure. However, though, this brings us to the issue. We've got Denmark and Greece showing up in this trailer. We have Mexico. We've got a South American country, a South African country, and potentially India. That's too many countries for an entire year of content for Rainbow Six Siege. So are we looking at potentially countries in the future, in year 5? Or maybe we'll have a season with people from different countries in the one season. Maybe we'll have an operator from Greece, an operator from Mexico in the same season. Maybe. I don't know. The other thing is you might be thinking incorrectly that the Mexico one is to do with Outbreak. But of course that was in New Mexico, which is in the United States. So that certainly wouldn't be a connection to Mexico. So yeah, I think we're probably looking at future countries here, but are they year 4 or are they year 5? And that might be the best kind of way to look at it. And that kind of ends it. We get a good look at this full board, which looks like it has an absolute ton of stuff in it. So the interesting thing is, again, it's split up attackers, defenders. So left-hand side is all the attackers, with the right-hand side being all the defenders. And it's cool. If we could get this in 4K resolution, so I can zoom in on everything, that'd be amazing. But from what I can tell, there's pictures of like mute jammers. There's pictures of the active defense system, so there's lots of pictures of gadget. There's pictures of the operators. there's just absolutely a ton of stuff in this. And half of it could easily be Easter eggs, and half of it could be completely other stuff. Anyway, though, it's insane. There's also actually parts of the world as well. So yeah, there's just so much to break down. And like I say, if we had this in 4K, and I could take a really good look at it, be interesting to see what we can pick up. But there's just an absolute ton of things in here. Really cool. Anyway, guys, if you think I missed anything, you can let me know. And thank you very much for watching. I will catch you next time.